Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going.
Hi guys, welcome back again to the channel. Today we are going to cut and sew the crop top. So if you have not watched the skirt part of this skirt and blouse, I will leave the link of that video in the comment section or in the description box. Please go ahead and click to watch so you understand every part of it. So if you are interested, please continue watching and watch the video to the end so you understand every part of it. Okay? Before we continue, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up so that it will reach every other person. So guys, with that being said, let's get started. The first step is to place my fabric on fold. I'll be cutting the back side first. Then after that, I'll use it to trace the front part of the top. So I'm going to fold my material or my fabric into two. Using my bust measurements, divide by 4. My bust measurement or bust circumference divide by 4 plus 2 inches. Okay, so my bust circumference divide by 4 is 10. I'll be adding extra 2 inches to that. So I have 10 and I have more than 2 inches here. So this is enough. The first step is to measure like 1 inch and mark that point to serve as my starting point line and equaling my shoulder line. So from this shoulder line, I'm going to take my vertical measurement, which is the measurement from shoulder downwards. So from my shoulder to my bust point is 10 inches. Then shoulder to the length of the top. You know, like I explained before, this is a crop top. So the length, it should stop at the waistline. Do you understand? So you can make it 17 inches, 18, 20, 21 or 22. But it shouldn't get to the hip part. So for me, the length of my top is going to be 19 inches. So 19 inches I'll mark. I'll be adding 1 inch for my hemming allowance, making it 20 inches. So guys, having gotten my vertical measurement, the next step is to add my shoulder measurement. So I'll come to the shoulder line and I'm going to mark my shoulder divided by 2, which is 8. 16 divided by 2, 8. The neck width for this top is going to be 3 inches. So I'm going to mark 3 inches. Then I'm going to slope the shoulder by 1 inch. Connect to the neck width. So coming to this place, the next step is to add my armhole depth. To get your armhole depth, divide your bust circumference by 6 and add 1.5 inches to whatever you got. That will be your armhole depth. So mine is 8 inches, then I mark. So I'm going to remeasure my shoulder measurement divided by 2 here, just to get a straight line. And I'm going to connect it to the shoulder line. So as you can see, the shoulder is now slanted. This is because our shoulders are not straight. So having gotten my armhole depth, at that point I'm going to add my bust circumference divided by 4. Mine is 10 inches. 40 divided by 4, 10. I'm going to be adding 0.25 for ease. So what I'll be marking here will be 10.25. 10.25, and this is it here. So I'm going to make my curve like this. Remember, we are cutting the back side first. I'll be trimming the armhole when it comes to the front side. So having marked out my bust circumference divided by 4, I'll be adding 1.5, 1.5 inches for sewing allowance. So this is it here. I'll take the curved line to that point. So this is what we have. The next thing I'm going to do is just to take the measurement I have here down to the waistline. Okay, because it's not fitted there. Except you want it fitted. If you want it fitted, then all you need to do is to add your waist measurement at the waistline. Okay? So I'm going to take whatever I have here down to the waistline. So this is what I have. So guys, the next step is to add my neckline. Here I have my neck width to be 3 inches. Then for the back side, I'm going to measure 1 inch here for my neck depth and make a slight curve like this. So the next thing I'll be doing is to add my shoulder joining allowance of half inch, and connect. So this is it for the back side. I'm going to cut it out and I'll be using it to cut the front side. So guys, to cut out the front part, I've placed my fabric on fold and I've measured 1.5 inches for my button overlap or button allowance. Okay, 1.5 inches. So on this line, I'll place the back side. So the next step is to add the front neckline. So at this shoulder line over here, I'm going to measure 4 inches and mark. This is my neck depth, 4 inches. Okay, and then this is the neck width, which is 3 inches. So I'm going to remove it and I'll draw a round neckline. So this is the front neckline. So I'm going to cut it out and then trim the front armhole. Okay, so I'll cut it out now. So the next step is to trim the front armhole. And at this point, I'll take the midpoint of the armhole depth, which is 8 divided by 2, 4 inches. I'm going to go inward by half an inch. That will be on the front side. So I'm going to place my hand there and take that point, mark it to the front side. So at that point, I'll go in by half an inch. This is just to trim the front armhole. I'll set it aside to cut the sleeve before I cut out a facing for it. For my sleeve, I'll place this fabric on fold. So using the armhole depth plus 2 inches. So what I have here is 10. Okay? Armhole depth plus extra 2 inches allowance. So having done that, so let me position it this way. The length of the sleeve is 8 inches. Length of the sleeve 8 inches. Any length you choose to make use of is okay. So 8 inches, then folding allowance 2 inches. So I'll be marking 10 altogether. I hope you are following. Please, if you have not given this video a thumbs up, go ahead and do that now, so that every other person can benefit from the tutorial. Okay, thank you so much. I have my sleeve length to be 8 inches plus 2 inches for hemming allowance. I'll measure 4 inches for my calf's height. So I have 4 inches here for my calf's height. So at this point, I'm going to measure my armhole depth. So I will remeasure my armhole depth, which is 8. Can you see? So from these 8 inches, I'll make a curve just like an S shape to this point. Can you see what I have? So after that, I'm going to add my sewing allowance of 1.5 inches and take this line to that point. Okay? So then again, over here, I'm going to add my bicep measurement. Mine is 13 inches. 13 divided by 2. 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. I'm going to add ½ inch for ease. So I'm going to measure 7 inches instead of 6.5. 7 inches. Then I'll be adding my 1.5 inches for my sewing allowance. So I'm going to connect to this point. So to cut out this, I'll fold it in. The hemming allowance, I'll fold it in and cut so that I will not run short of fabric. So this is it for the sleeve. And I'm going to notch that point to serve as a guide. So if I want to fold, I'll just fold at this point. Do you understand? So guys, having done that, I'm going to trim one side. And that side I'll be trimming will serve as the front of the sleeve, front side of the sleeve. So I'll be trimming by ½ inch. ½ inch. Take note of what I did. Okay? So this side that is shorter now will be attached at the front side of the top. Okay? While this will be attached at the back side of the top. The other side. I hope you understand. If you don't know how to cut a basic sleeve, I have a tutorial explaining that very well. You can check it out and watch. So this is the 2 sleeves, and yeah, we are going to cut the facing for the top. So I'm going to cut one side of the facing and then trace it. Use another pieces of fabric to trace the second facing. So for the facing, I'll just measure 3 inches. 3 inches. If you like, you measure. If you don't like, just eyeball it and cut. So I'm going to cut something like this. So this is the front facing. And the next step is to cut the back facing. If you don't want to cut the facing for the back, you can make use of bias tape to turn this side. I want the two facing to be the same. So I measure 3 inches here as well and connect like this. So I'll cut. And then for the pocket cover, I've cut out some piece of material for that. So I have 2 pieces here, and on fold I have 3 inches. 3 inches of fold. The pocket cover is actually going to be 2.5. Half inch will be for the sewing allowance. So towards this side I have 5.5 inches. That is the wideness of the pocket cover. Okay, so I'll be using half inch to sew at both sides. Then after sewing, I'll be left with 4.5 inches. If you want to attach your fusible interfacing on it, okay, so that it will be firm. Do you understand? So for the sake of this tutorial, I'll just go ahead and sew it like that. The first thing is to go and sew the necklines, both for the back and for the front. So I'm going to sew like this and like this all the way down. So the same thing here. After sewing, I'll give it a notch and turn to the right side. Same with the back side. I'll do that and I'll be right back. I'm going to sew the cover pocket and attach it, and then I'll be joining the front and back at the shoulder. Okay, so after joining it to the shoulder, I'll be using my hemming gum to hold this side in place. Do you understand? So I will now go and sew the pocket cover, attach it before I join it to the back side. All right, so to sew the pocket cover, I'm going to stitch like this by half an inch on both sides, turn it to the right side and top stitch. After sewing the pocket cover, this is it. Like I said, I top stitch on it, okay, so that it will relax very well since I'm not using any interfacing. I'm going to measure 7 inches. I took away my shoulder joining allowance and measure 7 inches. This is where I'm going to attach it, at 7 inches. So at this point, I'm going to measure 2.5 or 3 inches. So I'll measure 2.5. You can use 3 inches or 2.5. So from here to here 7, and from here to here 2.5. So having done that, this here I will take away my half inch joining allowance. So the height of the cover should be 2.5. 2.5. This is so that it will serve as a guide. So I will place the cover like this. This sewing allowance line, this line here should match with this line here. Do you understand? So I'll just place it like this and pin. I'll be stitching on that line. I'm going to stitch like this. I'll do the same on this other side. So guys, after attaching the pocket cover, this is what I have. So if you like, you just top stitch on it. If not, you can leave it like that. So having done that, I'm going to now join the back to the front at the shoulder. So I'm going to place it like this, and I'll open this side up, place this in between. I'll place it like this and use this to cover it. That was the reason why I could not hold it down with hemming gum. So after joining the shoulder side like this, I'm going to apply my hemming gum at the facing just to hold it down and keep it in place. So I'll go to the machine and sew by 1/2 inch. I'll do the same thing here. Open this one up, put it in between, make sure it's touching the seam side, okay, and then use this to cover up. Can you see? So I'll go over to the machine, join the two shoulders and shape the top by our sewing allowance, which is 1.5 inches, and I'll be right back. So guys, after joining the front and back and shaping the top, this is what I have. I've gone ahead to fold the downside. The next step is to sew the sleeve and attach the sleeve. So when you do it like this, you just go and run a stitch down. That way it will be easy for you to sew, and also it will be neat. Do you understand? So after sewing, I'll fold it like this, and I'm going to shape the sleeve with my sewing allowance, 1.5 inches sewing allowance towards this side, and attach it to the sleeve. I hope you understand. So guys, after sewing the sleeves, I decided to show us how to attach it for the sake of the beginners. To fix the sleeve, the first thing I'm going to do is to trim this side. I'm going to shape this side like this. Do you understand? And I'll trim this side. So after that, I'm going to turn to the right side. This side is shorter than this side. So this side that is shorter will be attached at the front side. You know, during the cutting, we trim the armhole of the front side. As you can see, this side is also shorter than this. So this side that is shorter now will merge with this side that is shorter. This is what I mean by attaching it at the front side of the top. Before attaching it to the armhole, I will equally trim this side. Can you see? To attach the sleeve, I'm going to be merging the side seam with the side seam of the sleeve like this. I'll merge it together and pin. I'll pin it all round. Okay? So to pin it, you can just hold it just open it like this. Open this one and then hold it. That way it will be easy for us to pin it all round. Can you see? So I will now pin it all round, or I will go to the machine to attach the sleeve. So guys, after attaching the sleeve, this is what I have, and this is it for the crop top. I'll be attaching 4 buttons here, and one button here and one button here. Later I'll be doing my buttonhole and attaching my buttons. So guys, this is it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share to others to benefit from the tutorial as well. And for the skirt part, if you have not seen the video, I will leave the link of that tutorial in the description box or in the comment section for you to watch and follow. Okay? So guys, go ahead and try it out. Let me know your results in the comment section. And if you have any question, leave it there as well. I'm going to attend to it. So thank you so much for watching. Till next time, I will see you again. For now, it is bye-bye.